Welcome to my latest video uncovering the mysterious world of New Jersey's cryptids. And this time we go deep into the legends surrounding the Garden State. Join me on this journey to uncover the truth and legitimacy behind these mythical beings. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more cryptid content. And let us know in the comments if you have any encounters or stories to share about mysterious creatures roaming the state. Because it's by comparing the locations and the types of cryptid sightings that we can then locate the hotspots for paranormal activity. The Jersey Devil is one of the world's most popular cryptids to have ever existed, and stories of this creature going back over 300 years, starting with the first sightings in the 1700s, which is right when the Europeans, the Quakers, the first Europeans started settling into New Jersey. Now, is the Jersey Devil a bat creature, an owl creature, or a moth creature? New Jersey does have a large bat population, and the description and the drawings of the Jersey Devil remind me of a species of bat called the hammerhead from Africa. And it's the largest species of bat. But if you can imagine another species similar to this, and I want to show this image of this beautiful hammerhead bat from Africa, but this image it bothers me because I don't like the way the animal's being manhandled, but I'm going to show it to you for scale, because this is a large bat, and maybe they get larger in the pine barrens of New Jersey. And if it's a moth creature, that means that it's got cycles of life, starting with an egg, which in the Atlantic County in the 1700s, sightings of the Jersey Devil sparked the legend of the Leeds Devil when a woman named Mrs. Leeds gave birth to a deformed baby, and the legend is that is where the Jersey Devils came from. Well, when I read that, I thought right away, wow, quick to be blaming women. I wonder. And again, we've got the name devil being thrown around quite a bit here. So I thought I ought to look into the people who named the Jersey Devil a devil in the first place, and who would accuse a woman of creating a devil species in their minds, and even naming her after it, connecting her with it, like as in witchcraft, working with the devil kind of thing. Yeah. Well, surprise, surprise, one county above where Mrs. Leeds was living is the county of Burlington and a place called Mount Holly. And in the 1730 Pennsylvania Gazette, it chronicled a witch trial that had taken place in Mount Holly. And here's where it all starts to make sense. In this article, according to the Gazette, locals began fearing the worst when their animals began acting strangely. Okay, this is coming from Weird New Jersey, which weirdnewjersey.com is a great source if you're living in New Jersey, especially for all things weird about New Jersey. And in this article, it's titled The Mount Holly Witch Trials. 300 people were gathered together to see an experiment on some persons accused of witchcraft. The accused had been charged with making their neighbor's sheep dance in an uncommon manner, and with causing hogs to speak and sing psalms from the Bible. Okay, so that's giving me a good idea of what we're working with here. Continuing on, it says, the ability to control the actions of animals has long been considered a surefire sign of witchery, and the citizens of fundamental Christians of Mount Holly would not stand for it. They rounded up one witch and one wizard and proceeded to test their innocence. So the rowdy mob of 300 townsfolk forced a man and woman to undergo trials, and to validate the results, 2 members of the rabble also underwent these tests as sort of a litmus to prove their fairness. This isn't going to end well. First, the accused were weighed against copies of the Bible. So these Bibles were placed on a gallows constructed near the courthouse, specifically for this trial. Man, they're not going to be happy until the gallows gets used, right? That's what I'm thinking. They didn't just build it for, oh, they're innocent. Okay, tear it down. All right, gallows. So this word gallows is very common in the culture of people who happen to name the county that Mrs. Leeds in Gallow Way. Okay? Could be a coincidence, but based on this gallows constructed near the courthouse specifically for this trial, so it was believed that anyone who gave in to such dark tendencies would be lighter than a weighty copy of the good book. And all 4 people were tested, and all 4 weighed more than the Bible. But the crowd didn't give up. They proceeded to a local mill pond where the real scientific testing began. So it says all of those undergoing the scrutiny were stripped down. Wow. Wow. You gotta get naked in front of the mob. Wow. So they were all checked to make sure they weren't hiding any heavy objects on their bodies. Checked. I bet that was nice. Then their hands and feet were bound with rope, and they were placed onto the pond. It was thought that anyone who was a witch would float on the surface of the water, while an innocent would sink to the bottom. Is there a lifeguard on duty for this? Okay. Only one man, a member of the mob, sank. Both individuals accused of witchcraft, as well as the female accuser, floated on the surface of the water. And this baffled the discontented crowd. The woman proclaimed that she must have been cursed by the witches. The article ends ambiguously, without telling of any final decisions made or actions taken regarding the guilt or innocence of those accused. Come on. The Witch and the Wizard is enough to explain how Mrs. Leeds, one county down, was blamed, along with the devil, to explain the creature that we are seeing. Legends of witches and their persecution still persist in Mount Holly today at sites like Holy Holy Altar on the Mount and the nearby Witch's Well. I was looking up Witch's Well, but there's another place also called Witch's Well in Edinburgh, Scotland, and it's a monument to the location where accused witches were burned at the stake. I think that naming this place Witch's Well and what other places named Witches' Well signify. So the Jersey Devil is not demonic, nor created by witches. There are a lot of legends from the native Lenape and Delaware that lived amongst these cryptids that didn't have to go into hiding like they do today. And among them is a version of the Indiana Pugwudgies called the Waymathagoonies, is the name given to these little people said to be like sprites or dwarfs and about as tall as a man's waist, so like 3 to 4 feet tall, described as being generally benevolent forest creatures, forest spirits even, although they can be dangerous when disrespected. That means that they are terribly, terribly dangerous, because all we've done since we've arrived here is disrespected the land, the plants, the animals. So they must be very terrifying if that's the case. Now they have immense strength for their size, magical powers, and the ability to become invisible. Now there's also reports of, like I said, the monkey men being reported in Hoboken. And I was looking at it thinking, how is that possible? Where could they have come from? Because there's no wilderness areas in this part of town. It's very congested with people. And then I noticed I had a heart over here, and I looked and see what the heart is. Next to Hoboken, it's Sybil's Cave. That's where they could have been coming from. And then making an escape back to some kind of underground. Which could be a version of the Waymathagoonies. And from the Wampanoag folklore, these creatures are said to be little wild men of the woods that vanishes, a human-like creature. And they're spotted all locally around this area in the forest. If they've learned one thing over time, it's to stay cryptic from humans. So in northern New Jersey, there is the mysterious big red-eye Bigfoot, and he's like a supernatural being with red eyes that glow like orbs that seem more like a laser than a reflection type of eye shine, like the light is coming from their eyes. And so, there are other animals that have that ability, like fireflies. And then the monkey man of Maywood is a creature resembling a mix of a human and an ape. Northwest New Jersey, near the Musconetcong River, there have been a few reports of a giant Praemanthus bug creature coming from local fishermen, all of whom have witnessed while they were fishing. And they say it's a mantis man, tall enough to stand in the bottom of the lake without being submerged, making it over 9 feet tall. Could it be a Mothman creature in one of the life cycles of his life, turning into a moth? Maybe this is like the larvae stage. I remember hearing that looking into the eyes of this creature could put you into some sort of hypnotic trance. I am going to tell you now about a couple experiences that I had with some sort of bat creature. And it's weird because I had two experiences right at almost the same time. They were like within a couple weeks of each other. and then nothing since. The first time I was with my friend, we went out at night to take pictures with our flash into the wilderness, like to look for eye shine, right? And when you do this, we were right by the car, but when you do this, you take a picture with your flash and you're looking ahead, forward at, whatever the flash is shining on. But what happened was one time, I guess it was her flash that went off, but it was just for a second, and I happened to be looking at her when her flash went off and everything lit up and I could see for a second. And behind her, I don't know if it was like a bunch of bats or one bat, one really large bat, but it was bat wings, and it was like they were all around her all in back of her, like centimeters away from her, like with their wings trying to like feel her without touching her, but like centimeters away. And she had no idea, we had no idea, and I got so scared, we immediately left. The next thing that happened to me, I had just moved to my new house in Indio, in the desert, and I was taking the trash out at night and walking along this wall. It was a light-colored wall of the house, and it was lit up from behind with the lights on the yard, and so you could see your shadow on the wall very clearly. And I was walking, looking at my shadow, and coming behind me, I could see the shadow of this huge bat creature, and it was doing the same thing. If I hadn't seen the shadow, I never, ever would have known that it was there. I didn't hear it, feel it, see it, sense it. I only saw it in the shadow of the wall. And I saw this. This was a for sure thing that I saw, to where if I imagined it or hallucinated it, then I am schizophrenic. I have a really serious problem, because I'm seeing things that aren't there, that I fully know are there and fully believe, fully know for a fact that I saw this. So that's all. I don't really know what to say other than I felt like they were coming up behind me to feel me with their, maybe like with their echolocation, but as close as they could get to me, but also knowing to stay hidden from my eyesight. Really weird to have those two things, basically identical things, happen in the desert and within a week or two of each other. So, if anybody else has any bat creature experiences, no matter where in the world you are, please let me know in the comments. Let us all know. We do have the ahul bat creature from Indonesia. Now, I found a really great article from someone who's done a lot of research. This is coming from Legends from the Lenape. There is a Turtle Island in New Jersey. From Waking Up on Turtle Island, blogspot.com, Misengwe Hunter Spirit. I can't let a second reference to Bigfoot in rock piles go by without posting an old piece I wrote about 10 years ago called Misengwe and Bigfoot. And it shows a Lenni Lenape ceremonial. The Lenni Lenape homeland is what is now known as New Jersey and eastern Pennsylvania, from the Delaware River to the Hudson River. One day, 3 boys went out in the forest thinking about their troubles when they saw a strange-looking hairy person with a big face, half red and half black. And the person said, "I am Misengwe. I have taken pity on you, and I will give you strength so that nothing can ever hurt you again. Come with me, and I will show you my country." He took one boy up in the air to a place where he came from. It was a great range of mountains up in the sky, reaching from the north to the south. And he promised he should become strong and gain power to anything he wished. And then he brought the boy back to earth again. This creature's translation to the masked being or living solid face, this Manitou or spirit being, also called the gamekeeper, lived in the woods, guardian of the deer and all the game animals. Ooh, the word can also mean Msingwe, human impersonator. Here it goes. This is a story from a really long time ago. I was really enjoying the fun when I heard a queer noise behind me, a sort of rattling and a sound like a horse neighing. I looked and nearly died from fright. There stood a creature as big as a man, but covered with hair. It had a great moon-like face, half red, half black, and it carried a staff and something that made a rattling noise. Oh my gosh, the Kachinas carry rattles too. It saw me looking and jumped straight in the air and made a dive for me. The quote-unquote terrible creature chased me all over the village, making great leaps and bounds and jumping over everything that came in the way. I escaped only by pushing it out into the river in a canoe. Even then, I thought for a moment it would follow me, but finally turned back, whining and rattling. These legends do sound like Bigfoot encounters and descriptions. So these artifacts are to be very fascinating because, look, I have Batman creature hybrids on my mind. I'm researching them. Am I the only one seeing these looking just like bats? I mean, what the heck? They look like bats, how they hang and sleep. Many cryptid sightings happened in the 1800s when the forests were being cleared for lumber and animal fur. And the predators, like the wolves, were being to extinction and still have not been allowed to return to the state, which is sad, would be one word I could use. Black bears and coyotes, these are the top predators in all that forest. I just think that's really weird because, even in California, we've got mountain lions, and it's like these forests that have been cleared of all wildlife. It just seems like by now we should have learned to live with other species, but no wolves allowed. Now what's happening now is because what we're doing to the wolf population, now they're mating with the more prevalent coyotes and creating a more aggressive, less secretive, hybrid coy wolf. And maybe in order to survive, another hybrid species that had to be created for wolves to survive was the dog man. And this dog man has a reputation for not liking people, and yeah, no wonder why, right? I know that they are real and they get misunderstood, misidentified, but I love animals and I'm able to be objective and understand and respect, but there are cryptids that are doing everything they can to keep their existence hidden from our knowledge. And with good reason. Join me next time as I keep delving into the mysteries of cryptids reported all across the country. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more explorations into the unknown. And until next time, bye!